Public Affairs programming on WQPT is brought to you by the Singh Group at Merrill Lynch, serving the wealth management needs of clients in the region for over 25 years.
Signing up for medical marijuana may be easier said than done, plus the fear of fake marijuana on the streets. And a new Moline Theater puts the spotlight on a well-known building in the cities. The Rock Island County Health Department is worried about marijuana in all of its forms. It's launching a new program to help patients get their medical marijuana cards. They're warning people about a deadly synthetic marijuana laced with a rat poison ingredient, and it's still concerned about the health effects of recreational marijuana, which is still illegal in the states of Iowa and Illinois. Joining us is Janet Hill, the Chief Operating Officer with the Rock Island County Health Department. Thanks for joining us.
You're quite welcome.
Well, right now you've said that you are going to help people on Fridays, virtually every Friday, if you
Correct.
make an appointment to get your medical marijuana card. Why has it been so difficult for people to get them up until this point?
The state asked its local health department partners to help because it's a multi-step process. People have to be fingerprinted, and if they have a felony drug conviction, they are ineligible. So that, and the application itself is online, and sometimes people who have debilitating conditions may not be computer savvy. There are just many places where there could be some problems, and they say that 90% of their applications had some sort of problem.
I was surprised by that, but I mean, it's almost like filling out your taxes. It's so complicated in some way that you do need a little bit of help. I want to underline right away, though, is that you are not issuing the cards. You are
Correct.
not the agency that does that. This is pretty much just helping people that are patients.
Right, just kind of think of us as navigators.
Yeah, exactly. A tax preparer almost,
Right.
if it were that way. It was interesting, though, is that as you mentioned, the process it's not that inclusive. I mean, you're talking about fingerprinting. You're talking about getting the doctor's okay. You're talking about what, some various hoops that you have to jump through.
Right. I think that the state is very interested in controlling who has this and making sure that they absolutely need it. Because as we mentioned, you know, it is recreational use is illegal in Illinois and Iowa. And so for our program, it is only open to Illinois residents. It just takes a lot to get through, so we're happy to help.
Have you been surprised? Have you had people that have come by even before you started launch this program, people seeking help? I mean, do you know people that are getting the medical marijuana card, and are you surprised by the conditions that they're in, the need that they have?
You know, since we told people about our program, we've had several people stop by, and there was a man in my office this morning who had a severe back injury, and he could hardly walk, and he was really hopeful that this program will help him.
Well, that's interesting because last year judges with the Supreme Court had decided that Illinois had to offer medical marijuana to more people, including those with debilitating pain and pain management. And then that seems to be one of the major issues. There's like 40 different, what would you call them, symptoms, or 40 different...
Qualifying conditions.
Thank you, qualifying conditions. And what are some of those right now?
Lou Gehrig's disease is one, seizure disorder, PTSD, lupus, spinal degeneration. And so it's kind of a mix of disease and conditions.
In so many ways it's pain management as well. I mean, when you have these debilitating cancers and it just seems to stretch on, and as you said, people that have seizures, and we're seeing Iowa and Illinois both kind of increasing the number of people that are eligible for this.
Right. I mean, we're here to help, and we just want to make sure that people who doctors have said would benefit from this gain access to the medicine that will help them.
Now, you said somebody had walked into your office, but that's not necessarily the way that you're doing this, right?
That's
I mean,
correct.
You want people to make kind of an appointment.
We do. We have a packet of information that we can give them, and then we're hoping and trying to guide them toward, you know, getting some of these initial processes done before they come see us. You know, the fingerprinting takes a little while, and finding the physician. The state wants you for it to be your physician, but sometimes, you know, physicians have a right not to to certify those
for
conditions.
various reasons, moral reasons or
Right.
ethical reasons that some aren't doing that, but they don't want doctor shopping going on, I guess.
Correct.
Is what they
Correct.
But it's also that there are people that can, how do I say this, get around some of those regulations. We're talking about children aren't necessarily fingerprinted, and also the people that are terminally ill and may not have much time left. Correct. I mean, there are stipulations in the state law for a lot of people.
That's correct. For terminally ill people, people who have been diagnosed with about 6 months or less, the process is fast-tracked.
Are you surprised, I mean, as a health professional, in the last 5 years, how marijuana has been taboo, verboten in all of its forms, and now we're seeing that its uses, when you get rid of the addictive or the hallucinogenic or whatever you want to call properties and make it purely for medical reasons, are you surprised at how accepted it is becoming?
No, I think that there is a lot of people who could use the help, and it certainly is less dangerous than opioids.
And we're seeing that over and over again. I mean,
Right.
you could talk about that forever, I know that. Are you worried, though, also about the talk about recreational marijuana? As a health professional, is that a concern of yours?
I am a little hesitant to wade into that.
Absolutely.
I do know that that Colorado and some of the other states that have seen a large number of impaired driving arrest, and I think the state needs to work out a lot of details before we really talk about that.
But there is one area that I know that you're very concerned about, and that would be synthetic marijuana.
That's correct.
And we have seen just an incredibly awful case that has developed in Illinois, the Chicago area and central Illinois and the Peoria area,
Right.
where synthetic forms of marijuana, laced, as we said, with an ingredient from rat poison, sickened more than 100 people and has killed at least 4 at this
Right,
point.
right.
This has been a time bomb waiting to happen, isn't it?
Well, I think that people are thinking that synthetic cannabinoids are, quote, safe. They absolutely are not. They are chemicals that people are just putting together and putting on plant material, so it could be smoked, or liquefied, and so it could be vaped. But they don't know what they're putting in their body, and no one should ever do that. If you don't know what you're taking, you should never take it.
Well, and the big instance about this, I mean, we talk about that it's an ingredient in rat poison. You kind of go, well, now that's just insane. But
Right.
these people are basically what? Internally bleeding to death because
are.
this ingredient is stopping the blood from clotting.
Right. I mean, lots of intense bleeding, kidney failure. I mean, just horrific pain and suffering. I mean, intense bleeding from the nose, and I mean, it's just horrible.
Yeah, yeah. It's basically poisoning yourself.
Right.
And by the time you get those type of symptoms, in a way, it's a little too late. We've talked about the deaths, the 4 people that died. We've talked not so much about the 100 people that were injured from this and hospitalized. Are there long-term health effects for them? I mean, if the blood stops clotting, it can be repaired, I'd assume. But I mean, does it leave some physical problem with you for the rest of your life?
I'm not sure exactly of
Okay.
the pathology of it, but I would imagine that there could be some long-term effects. I mean, you are putting rat poison in your body.
You are now really very, and I see that you gave me a rundown of the 10 tips to successfully complete, I'm sorry, the synthetic cannabinoids, the poster that you're giving me right here, the K2 spice. Once again, you were telling me that a lot of people might think that these are actually legal because they are somewhat easily available.
Right. And K2 and Spice, those are brand names. But basically what people are doing, these manufacturers are just throwing chemicals together. So regulators have, banned, specific brands, and now they are starting to work on banning specific ingredients. And that is, but then, so let's say one ingredient is banned and then a manufacturer will decide to put a different, so that technically isn't banned. However, synthetic cannabinoids are illegal.
The banning of certain ingredients, though, has somewhat worked to stem the tide of the methamphetamine problem by getting the pseudoephedrine off the shelves easier, because I mean that was being sold at gas stations as well, and people would come in and buy 20 packs. It was like, okay, we know what they're doing. So in a way, that has helped somewhat, but as you're saying, the manufacturers get to be savvy and find another ingredient.
Right, and then, you know, these products or these ingredients, you know, have legitimate uses. You know, if you have, you know, a rat problem, you want to be able to kill the rats. So to completely ban all of the ingredients is not practical and probably impossible.
And let's be honest, and I said this earlier and I probably shouldn't have, is that people will find a way to feed an addiction no matter what it is. I mean, that's just the personality. That's us as humans. And that's your job, to try to find us to be better humans. I do want to talk a little bit more about the crises that the health department has been facing over the last few years as far as state funding is concerned. We're heading into another budget year. You had to cut programs in the past, and I know that was incredibly painful because you also had to lose some dedicated staff as well. What is the status for the health department as far as the services that you provide? Because about a year ago, 2 years ago, you were worried about particularly women and children's health. You were worried also about some of the emergency systems and compliances that you have. Where do we stand right now as we're coming to the end of another budget year?
Well, first of all, we're very excited to be able to offer family planning services again through a partnership with the Henry County Health Department and the Illinois Department of Public Health.
That's no small deal.
That is no small deal. Basically, in public health, if you can help a woman decide when she's going to have a baby, she's going to have a much better life outcome. Her children are going to be better prepared and taken care of. So we're very happy. So on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays, Rock Island County women can come to the health department at 2112 25th Avenue in Rock Island. And then on the other days, they can go to the Kelowna office of the Henry County Health Department, which is just across the line. So it's very close for especially our upper Rock Island County residents.
What have you seen? I mean, for a period of time, the women didn't have this option. The women and children of Rock Island County, I mean, it was taken away for a short period of time, was it not?
Right, it was. It was a women's care clinic, so we weren't caring for, you know, children, maybe some teenagers.
Okay, right.
But a lot of our clients went to community health care, which we're happy to partner with them.
And so your worry, though, of course, is that you always want to be the health safety net.
Exactly.
And that was kind of taken away.
It was, and that was due to dwindling state funding.
Right. And at times no state funding, to be perfectly honest.
Right. Our family planning and women's care clinics had lost about $500,000 over 3 years. And the grant in our final year did not cover the cost of our provider, let alone any support staff or supplies.
And you would, of course, argue that the need did not diminish. If anything else, it just increased.
That's correct.
So what do you see for this coming year? I mean, you don't have a crystal ball, and trying to guess what Springfield's going to do is a fool's errand. So what do you think might happen?
Well, Illinois Department, or wait a minute, can we start over?
Sure.
Okay. The Illinois Public Health Association and the Illinois Public Health Administrators Association have been working very hard to make sure that public health funding is well represented in the governor's budget. And we are happy that the governor has proposed that the Public Health Protection Grant will have level funding for fiscal 19. And these same budget experts in Springfield for our associations are saying that they believe that there will be a budget by the end of May because of the political will of the election.
Yeah, that does have something to do with it. One last pitch, once again, is that if you are qualified for a medical marijuana card, the Rock Island County Health Department wants to hear from you to help get through the application process.
That's correct.
And you're taking reservations, or appointments, I should say, and it's being held when?
On Fridays between 8 a.m. and 2 p.m.
And it's a good resource. All right, thank you so much. Janet Hill, who is the Chief Operating Officer, Rock Island County Health Department. Still ahead, a cathedral that's ready for its spotlight. But first, Laura Adams takes a look at events around the area in this first week of May. It's time for Out and About.
This is Out and About for April 30th through May 6th. Hi, I'm Laura Adams. Visit downtown East Moline and experience Cinco de Mayo with celebrations and activities May 5th. The 6th annual Village in Bloom, a festival of the arts, is being held in the village of East Davenport on the 5th. The RICC annual flea market yard sale is held the 5th in Milan, while the Hallberg Center is holding a Fashion in Bloom Historic Garden fundraiser on the 5th. The Illaway Vintage Camper Rally takes place at the KOA Rock Island, and the annual Model Train Show is at the Mississippi Valley Fairgrounds. The Knights of Columbus in Davenport is holding a Star Wars trivia night on the 4th, while Renwick Mansion holds a bridal show on the 6th. The Geneseo Kiwanis hold their Spring Chicken Fest at the Moose Lodge May 6th, and the Volkswagen Car Show is coming to the German American Heritage Center on the 5th. And Bishop Hill is presenting Folk Songs of Illinois with Booth Shot Lincoln on May 5th. On stage, Augustana College's Bruner Theater presents the musical The Drowsy Chaperone. The Black Box Theater in downtown Moline presents Crowns, a gospel musical, through the 6th. Davenport Junior Theater present The Emperor's New Clothes, while Madagascar, a musical adventure, and Church Basement Ladies' Rise Up Old Man are on the main stage at Circa 21. Viva La Divas perform next door at the Speakeasy. For more information, visit wqpt.org.
Thank you, Laura. Angela Meyer just sold out her album release party last week at the Crown Whiskey and Raccoon Motel in downtown Davenport. But her debut album, Consequence, is now available, and Angela joined us at the Black Box Theater in Moline to perform her original song, Dirty Habits.
You drive too fast on gravel roads to see rock fly out your back window. Going nowhere with no time constraint. You blow the speakers before you tap those brakes. You got a dirty mouth and a filthy mind, but God knows your heart is gold. And you'll leave me here looking out for that gypsy heart of yours. You smoke, you drink, you love, you leave, move faster than the sun. If you go, go, if you promise me someday our time will come. You and me are touch and go. We speed it up to take it slow. It's been a while, but funny how we pick up right where we left off. You got a dirty mouth and a filthy mind, but God knows your heart is gold. And you'll leave me here looking now for that gypsy heart of yours. You smoke, you drink, you love, you leave, move faster than the sun. If you go, go, if you promise me someday our time will come. Now love's the last thing on your mind, but I hope to change that with time. You're hard to learn and hard to lose. You got a lot of dirty habits, I think mine could be you. You smoke, you drink, you love, you leave, move faster than the sun. If you go, go, if you promise me someday our time will come.
Angela Meyer with Dirty Habits. Her new debut album, Consequence, is now available, and you could check out her website, angelameyer23.com, for details. Quad Cities is getting another theater in a well-known location. A Quad City couple with a history of performing on Quad City stages has decided to open up their own inside the Scottish Rite Cathedral in Moline. But it's more than live performances that they plan to offer. And joining us is Brent and Sarah Tubbs, the creators of the Spotlight Theater. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it. Why the Scottish Rite Theater?
Well,
or cathedral, I should say, which is now your theater.
Which is now the Spotlight Theater. The opportunity honestly just fell into our laps. We weren't going out looking to open a theater at all. We both perform a lot and love to do that, but we had never really thought that was something that we could possibly do ourselves. And do you want to tell them the story, what happened?
Yeah, through a connection that I had with one of the guys buying the building. We went to high school together. And so he saw her singing at an event and said, "Hey, I think your wife's singing to me right now." And I said, "Well, that's weird."
Well, there it is. Yeah.
And so he said, "You want to grab lunch sometime?" I said, "Sure." He goes, "How about Tuesday?" And through that conversation, we kind of got caught up, and he said, we're thinking about buying this building. Would you mind taking a look at it with us? And I thought, okay, I don't know how I could help, but he walked me in to the Scottish Rite, and I was just speechless. I had no clue that that theater was there. And you know, we've been back here in Illinois for 6 years now, and I grew up in Rock Island and had no idea that that even existed. And so he said, we're thinking about buying this building. If you guys want to run the theater, you have first dibs. And so we had a lot of conversations about it, and visited it a lot before we decided, but we said, all right, well, if it's not going to be us, it's going to be somebody else, so might as well.
Well, one of the great things about the Quad Cities seems to be that it has a lot of stages, a lot of small stages for independent work or any type of play. What do you hope to be different? What do you hope to do differently?
Well, I mean, just one thing with our, you know, our extensive background of performing, and we performed a lot in LA as well, which is where we met. And I think just kind of our viewpoint on theater and things that we like, it's just that alone is going to make it different. But we also, some of the shows we plan to do, it's such a beautiful space and it's so unique. And we plan to pick shows that will kind of help highlight that. Our first big musical is The Hunchback of Notre Dame, which will be in October. And before we decided on that, we were walking around the theater and found a huge working cathedral bell.
I was going to say, it's the perfect location.
It really
Exactly.
is. The building and just the way it feels when you're in there. And the music of The Hunchback of Notre Dame is incredible.
And they also have a full working pipe organ that they've tuned up every year. So it was just like, it was one of those things where like, oh, we have to do this show.
And that's a great way to first inaugural big event. That makes total sense. And I mean, we're talking about it being in October, but you're already trying to look for casting, and that's coming up, what, in a month or so?
Right, June 2nd and 3rd. June 2nd is from 12 to 3 at the theater, and June 3rd is 4:30 to 6:30. Well, you start rehearsals for a show weeks before it opens. So we start rehearsals August 20th. We were giving ourselves that cushion to make sure we find everybody that we need to fill all of the roles by that time. So that's why you typically do audition a few months out before starting rehearsals.
But the other thing that you have that's coming up, and it's more than just a theater stage, is you want it to be a learning environment as well. And for kids, you've got a bunch of different programs that are already, if a parent's looking for something for a summer camp, you got it ready.
Yes, we do. In June, we have a camp for 3rd through 8th grade. And that one we're hoping to do Fiddler on the Roof Junior. It'll all depend on how many boys versus how many. We have a lot of girls signed up right now. We need some more boys to be able to do that show.
You don't sing, do you?
No, I never. Well, I'm not getting into that.
He may have aged out.
Yeah, that's a problem.
That's true. Yeah.
That's a real problem.
We're really desperate.
But that's a good point, is that, I mean, you're talking about trying to get boys as well as girls, and when you think of a summer camp, I think a lot of people just think, oh, it's going to a campground and learning how to canoe. But there are a lot of, let's say, urban opportunities for kids in this area.
Yeah, yeah, and it's not just you know, the acting side of it too. We're going to be teaching the technical side of it, doing the lighting, the set design, the singing, the acting, the choreography, how to audition. We're going to offer a free headshot for every kid that comes into the camp. And that's part of just the acting camp. And then we are also offering a magic camp, which will be later in August.
July 30th through August 3rd. And then our high school camp is in July.
And the high school camp is offering what?
The same as the junior high, but we'll be doing more of a review type show with them. We're still piecing that together. And we have 4 professional instructors. We have myself, another woman who performs at Circa 21 a lot. I met her through there, and we have a professional music director, teacher, and a technical director. So they're going to really get some really great teachings.
And let's talk about the camp. One more point that I like to make also is that, I mean, if you have a child that's a little shy or uncertain or something like that, or, you know, like you said, technically interested in certain areas, I mean, getting kids at a young age, getting them on the stage, not necessarily pushing them in front of the spotlight, if you don't mind me using the word spotlight.
Very nice.
Well, I just didn't know if it was copyright or whatever.
Spotlight,
trademark
spotlight.
of some sort. But it's really good to help children grow.
Oh yeah, yeah, and that's the thing too, that we want to help foster that love that they discover within the theater. Say a kid signs up and says, I don't really want to sing. Okay, well then we can put you on the light board and you will run the lights for the show if that's more their thing. So it's going to help, you know, find that love that they discover through the camp, and then we'll just kind of place them where they're most comfortable.
Well, and Sarah, I've abbreviated the actual title of your place. It's the Spotlight Theater and Event Center. And let's underline the second part, is the Event Center. I mean, you still want to be able to be almost a community center as well.
Right, so our part of the building, we run the theater. Then there's also a reception hall that will seat up to 350 people in the basement. And so there's a different group that's running that, but we are planning on doing things together. But even just with the theater in itself, we really hope to bring in other performers or other acts, concerts. We have weddings. We have 3 weddings already booked in there this year. What else do we have?
Ballet,
the Quad City Ballet, dance
Yep.
recitals with a few different companies in the area.
They've been known to be there quite often.
Yes,
So
they've been using the space.
what do you like about downtown Moline right now? I mean, as you said, I mean, you've been gone, you came back, you've been here a couple of years. There seems to be a vibrancy that's occurring in Moline's, the heart of Moline right now.
There really is, yeah. It's, I mean, right now it's hard to kind of drive around it. But
fair enough.
Yeah, but once you get there, there is a lot going on down there, and I know that the city of Moline is really passionate about building up that kind of downtown area. And you know, there is the Black Box Theater, which is right down the street from us, and you know, now with us, it's just there's a lot of things happening with new hotels going in.
Right.
So that must have been played a part in your business decision, is to capitalize on this right now.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we didn't have much say on where it was going to be. But yeah, it was. Yeah, we were looking at everything that's kind of being built up down there, and said this is going to be a really good time to start something like this and have it be right off the 74 bridge.
Yeah.
And light that building up, and everybody that drives past there is going to see it.
They know it. Brent, Sarah Tubbs, thank you so much for joining us, the creators of the Spotlight Theater and Event Center, which is in the Scottish Rite Cathedral in Moline. Thanks so much. If you are a college student, or if you know one who loves television, doesn't everyone love television? Well, make sure they contact us very soon. We are taking applications for our summer-long WQPT Volunteer Ambassadors Program. Since 2004, the program has provided students with hands-on television experience, also in event planning, in education, marketing, public affairs, a whole lot more. To apply, just go to WQPT.org, complete the application, but the deadline's coming up. It is Friday, May 18th. Check out the details right now, WQPT.org. On the air, on the radio, on the web, and on your mobile device. Thanks for taking some time to join us as we talk about the issues on the cities.
Public Affairs programming on WQPT is brought to you by the Sing Group at Merrill Lynch, serving the wealth management needs of clients in the region for over 25 years.